1,000 people from all over the really it was North America. So it was Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, USA. So they came literally from all over the world, that free incentive trip at the beautiful resort down there in the Dominican Republic. So we had a great, great time. And of course, I got to meet, who did I get to meet, you guys? Who was there? Did you see the pictures? Mr. Fred and his beautiful, is she his wife or fiance now? Well, they're just like a love affair. Those two are fantastic. Did he tell you they went into the gym? The gym there was very high end. For those of you who are here today for the X39 patch, here is a testimony. So they went into the gym and this kind of metal thing, and they both had it done. And some of you know that Fred is 62. Well, he tested as a 22-year-old. 22. 22. And his beautiful Nadine, she, I'm not going to reveal her age, but she tested as an 18-year-old. Are you kidding me? I said, Fred, I would be running around telling the world that you're officially like metabolically 22. There you go. And Nadine is 18. So I said, well, you're a match made in heaven because look at you guys. You're both young at heart, young in body, and obviously young internally. So the best is yet to come. If you just started patching, that shows you what long-term patching can do, right? Because it's not just what it does in the first day, the first week, the first month. And sometimes those results are super tremendous. We all love and appreciate those one patch miracles and those 1 week miracles, right? But the long-term effects, the compound effects of wearing X39 are extraordinary. I mean, literally, we were talking to neurosurgeons down in the Dominican Republic that have been on this and recommending it to their patients for 5 years, right? Visited with one gal, and she actually has a handicapped child. And in the case of her handicapped child, the child was only speaking one word. She started patching the child. And this woman literally is a neurologist. That's what she does for a living. She's a doctor. And within a month, the child was saying 40 words, from 1 word to 40 words. The child was having a difficult time with this particular condition, that disease state the child was born with. They have a hard time sleeping and they have tremendous pain over their whole bodies. So after that first month, she found out, of course, about some of the other patches and started using LifeWave and completely eliminated the pain from her child's body. And with the sleeping problems that these children have, she said the first night, on silent night, the child slept through the entire night. It was like the first time in like since the child's been born. And so this woman, who is a neurologist, is completely 100% sold on the patches, and of course had won the free trip to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. But that testimony that I just gave you is going to be live on thisisit.info.com. Hopefully soon, hopefully within the next week, you'll see that testimony recorded by the mother herself, sharing what those patches have done for her child, from 1 word to 40 words. Can you imagine how great we have? I mean, this is such an excellent opportunity on so many realms. So if you're brand new today, thanks for hopping on. Make sure you talk to who invited you on here. The person who invited you on here is your sponsor, and they want to help you reset your genes to a younger, healthier state. Who's into that? Resetting your genes to a younger, healthier state. I have this book sitting here on my table. It's by the doctor who actually discovered the GHK-Cu peptide, which was the peptide that is activated by the X39 patch, of course. And I love how the subtitle says, Resetting Your Genes to Youth Today. I'm in, right, guys? Who wants to reset your genes to youth? Right over here, pick me. So that's evidently happening with Fred and Nadine, and now they're not 62, but 22 and 18. Are you kidding? They set the bar pretty high. In fact, after they told me their metabolic age, I was kind of scared to do the test because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be younger than that. That's so young. I mean, am I like 13? And so, because I've been wearing the patch now for, of course, about 2 years and 4 months, we've been part of LifeWave, and it's just been a tremendous, tremendous blessing. So, I want to get to the getting of this meeting because if you came today, you came to learn something that will change the course of your life, hopefully. So, I'm going to screen share with you if I'm able to. Let's see if I can. Hopefully, I'm able to. We'll get this. Make sure we got the right PowerPoint pulled up. Many of you know that I'm a health coach over here in the United States. I've been in the trenches with natural health and healing literally for 25 years. I was the mom who didn't vaccinate my kids after I figured out what was in the vaccine. So for me, I've just been that mom for a long, long time. I've been really entrenched and really in love with natural health and healing. How many of you love natural health and healing? I believe God designed our bodies to heal. And so what we have our hands on here is regenerative medicine. I love regenerative medicine. I talked to a doctor that was in Punta Cana as well, and he said, I've never seen anything in all of my career. He was a medical doctor as powerful in regenerative medicine as this patch. I mean, so you have standard, traditionally medically trained doctors saying they've never seen something as powerful as the patch when it comes to regenerative medicine. So that's where we're at. Hey, Fred. Fred just is joining us. Fred, I told him that I was a little nervous about getting my metabolic age tested after you turned out to be 22 and 18 for Nadine. I didn't want to come in at like 13, you know what I mean, and still the thunder because I've been on this patch 2 years and 4 months. So, Fred, can you share a little bit about your experience in Punta Cana?
Are we going to hear what your metabolic age is?
I never had it tested. I tried to schedule an appointment. So I had lots of my team do it. I think what happened is they heard your story and then they all scheduled the appointments. And then when Renita went to do it, I couldn't get an appointment to get it
Don't
done.
worry, any thoughts. So
yeah, yeah.
we'll talk later about your other friends. I'm curious to know. Yeah, there's something called a body composition test. I was doing some research about it this morning because my fiance wanted to know. And she is a former professional athlete. So she took the test first. And she has not noticed a lot of changes with the patches. And she's one of the few people, even though I noticed little details here and there, she's just not as detail oriented. And so she took the test. And first it showed a number of great stats. And the guy finally comes around to saying, and your metabolic age is 18. Well, she just galloped like a gazelle all around the gym for about 2 minutes. And of course, I'm getting ready to take my test. And I guess Renita already announced my age because I didn't know what it was going to be, but it came out at 22. And so later on, I was saying to Renita that maybe, even though Nadine hasn't recognized as many things, maybe we are really aging backwards. And since then, my own daughter, who's 29, sent me her own stats. She gets them all the time. I'm so proud of her. She's not on the patches. I haven't gotten to that stage yet, but she's going to be 29 next month, and hers is 24. But the guy that took the test of us, he was kind of aghast. He said, I'm 32 and mine have been 34 and 37. I was like, he's one of the trainers. He's one of the guys that leads the classes in the gym. He looks really buff. So yeah. Anyhow, who knows? I'll just leave it and say that David Schmidt, I was told, maybe Renita, maybe you were telling me this there, that it's not just about the X39. It facilitates so many other changes, including being more healthy, working out, eating right. So anyhow, I'm just feeling great.
All of it. Yeah, I love it, Fred. Thank you for sharing that. And, I don't know how many of you caught David Schmidt yesterday, but it was incredible. Yet again, if you have not watched a LifeWave Connect, that's what they're called. And they are literally once a month and you can ask questions. There's lots of commentary. You learn a lot by just attending the meeting about health, right? Because David is very all encompassing, as you said, Fred. He's not just like, put this patch on and it's going to cure everything. He really wants wellness and wholeness for people. He wants them to understand the capabilities of their body's healing. And the patch, of course, is a huge part of that for those who have not been exposed to phototherapy. And let's just say affordable phototherapy, like, in the size of a patch, right? So we really have our hands on something phenomenal. But if you have not watched those connects, they are all recorded and they're over on YouTube at LifeWave Health. LifeWave Health is all one word. It's all connected. LifeWave Health. If you really want a product education, about each of the patches. If you're saying, Renita, I heard there's, 10 of these patches. Yes. And you can get that product knowledge from listening to the founder himself, David Schmidt. And that's over at LifeWave Health. That's LifeWave Health at YouTube. Okay. So for those of you who haven't been there, jot that down. When I first started, Fred, I actually would sit in my morning bathroom regimen as I was getting ready, and I would have some David Schmidt playing, right? Because this guy is such a genius and just literally brainwashing and washing my brain with the goodness of what is possible with regenerative medicine, right? I mean, this is so powerful when you wrap your head around that our bodies are healing machines and they're designed by God to heal. So David does a great job of explaining all that. I encourage you guys to get on over there to LifeWave Health, and that's at youtube.com. All right, we're getting rolling here with the patch. Fred, thanks for sharing. Tell that beautiful Nadine, man, she is 18. She is have you guys seen Nadine? Okay, this woman is like a runway model, NBA basketball player combined. So of course, like, she's probably not going to notice huge things on the patch because she's like an elite athlete. But with that being said, speaking of elite athletes, did you guys see Mike Tyson is on the patch? And he's actually going to be fighting. I think it's going to be, is it tomorrow night or the next night? He's going to be actually fighting in the ring with somebody half his age. And you can see in his training, he's been wearing the patches all over. So I'm actually rooting for Mike Tyson. I know he bit an ear off of some guy many years ago. I've forgiven him for that. I want him to win. I kind of want the old guy to win, right? Because it would be really cool. Who's he fighting? Jake Paul, I think is his name. So this young hipster. So you make sure you guys watch the Mike Tyson fight, and he'll probably have the patches on in the ring. And let's pray it's just a TKO, right? Let's go. All right, guys, here we go. Let me share with you guys my screen. Now, the first thing I want to show you is This Is It info. If you've never, ever been to this website, are you guys able to see the website there? This Is It info. Yeah, this is a great place to go. And remember how I was telling you the story about the neurologist who had the handicapped child? These testimonials all can be found up here under testimonials. So if you're brand new today, welcome. Spend some time going to these different things, clicking on children and listening to these remarkable testimonies from people from all walks of life, okay? So you're going to have better sleep. You're going to have kids' eyes that are uncrossed. You're going to have children on the spectrum where they're much improvement, right? So all of this is available to you at This Is It info. Under the testimonials, you can search for anything. You can search for heart, mental clarity, eyes, improved blood sugar levels, all of it. And it's really a powerful resource for those of you on here today that want to take a deep dive on the potential and possibility of what these patches can do for you. I would encourage you guys to go to testimonies. And if you find it inspiring, which I feel like if you have a heart beating in your chest, you will. If you find it inspiring, please share with somebody that you're thinking of that could benefit. But another thing about this is at info.com. The reason I share with you this is very powerful on two levels. How many of you know there's an awakening happening in the world right now with healthcare? Raise your hand. It is evident. It is abounding. I mean, it is everywhere. Like, anything that we thought was something with the medical system is being flipped on its head right now. We are part of the transition team and the transition from dark into light. We are helping people to understand that their bodies are, just amazingly made to heal, that phototherapy is a direct component of that healing, and that it's affordable, it's easy to use, and anybody can do it. So if you've not been to This Is It info, I'm not going to take much more time here, but you can click on all of these great videos. Live an empowered life, right? An empowered life has no limits. What is phototherapy? What is light therapy? I've never seen this. And I can't play this for you because unfortunately I can't play the sound. So you watch the video without the sound, but please take some time today. If you're really serious about this and really serious about wanting to learn more. I mean, this video right here is 1 minute and 46 seconds. Just push play while you're in the bathroom, right? Just listen to these videos. And of course, David Schmidt, the founder himself. I had a gal on last night and she's in her 40s and she is like a total biohacker. She's so into anti-aging. And that was the first time she ever listened to David last night on that meeting. And she said, anytime this man speaks, I want to know when. She said, I will not miss one more of these. I cannot believe the knowledge he's pouring out of his mouth that is helping so many people to regain their health. So again, I just encourage you guys to get on board. This is my dear friend, Dr. Leland Stillman. He just brought a major player in, Dr. Ben Tapper. I put a post on Facebook yesterday. I think it was shared 35 times. Dr. Ben Tapper says, we've been fooled to think that symptoms are diseases, and symptoms are our body's way of trying to heal itself, right? And so Dr. Ben Tapper, another amazing freedom fighter, just an amazing man. Dr. Leland, who's an MD, brought in this Dr. Ben Tapper just last week. So I was doing some introductions this morning, and you guys, we are recruiting the very, very best practitioners in the world to LifeWave. Light workers, literal light workers, people that are helping people to take back their power with their health. And sometimes it's a doctor, sometimes it's a nurse, sometimes it's a teacher, right? For those of you, sometimes it's a pianist like Fred, sometimes it's just a lay person that says, you know what, I just really am passionate about health and I love what these patches have done for me and I work with others. So as you scroll down at this website, there are many, many videos. Every time you see a red arrow, that's a video that you can further your knowledge base. Please go here and learn and gain the knowledge and gain the insight that you're looking for. So does anyone have any questions about this is it info? And this website will really be specific to the X39 patch. That's the patch that all of you should be starting with. It is the patch that changed my life. It changed my dad's life, my mom's life, my children's lives. So that's the patch that everyone should begin with. If you're here today and say, hey, I've heard there's other patches, you can talk to who invited you on here and they will help you get started at what's right for you. But I would tell you, first and foremost, you need that X39. That's the patch that's going to change your life, just like it did mine. So let me show you how it changed my life real quick. Let me share again with you. Make sure, again, you talk to the person who invited you on here. That person really loves you and cared about you enough to invite you on here today. So we are all about elevating our lives, activating our own stem cells, and regenerating our bodies. I am about all of that. And I want you to know that LifeWave products are free from drugs, chemicals, and stimulants. Actually, a life purpose of my own life purpose, one of the many life purposes I have, but it's very dominant in my life, is to get people off of legal drugs. And Alondra is somebody that has gotten off of legal drugs. Alondra, I want to showcase you for a second because I haven't heard from your beautiful face for a while. I've been running around. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. And Alondra has come full circle with her health. And literally, when I say get people off of legal drugs, she got herself off of the legal drugs in cahoots with her medical doctor, but she was doing the right thing with patching. And so could you just share a brief testimony about that, Alondra? You always look younger and younger. We're all going to be like Fred shortly, 22. Okay. Right?
Absolutely. In fact, I was just playing for like an hour with the kids and tennis and balls, and LifeWave has just absolutely revolutionized my life. It has completely transformed my life. I was a red flag type 2 diabetic for many, many years, almost 15 plus years. I really struggled with perimenopausal symptoms, so many things, because when your glucose levels are so high, everything else just goes wrong. And it's hard to heal. And I tell you, that first day I put an X39 patch on, I could have jumped on the roof and screamed for everyone to hear what X39 did for me. I had never seen my sugar levels decrease like that in such a short space of time. It was absolutely incredible. I started exercising, I started eating better, just automatically. Just putting that patch on completely changed my life. I mean, I had psoriasis. I had periodontal issues. Oh, Renita, exciting news. I don't think I shared it yet. I've been waiting about 10 years, people, 10 years to get the green light from my medical professionals, my periodontist, prosthodontist, and so forth. I went for a maxilla scan last week, and I finally, after 10 years, My gums are in a shape where I can go and have implants. It is,
Wow.
I wasn't sure whether to cry or laugh or it was so emotional for me. And this is all because of LifeWave Phototherapy. X39 is the way to go.
Oh my
Honestly.
gosh. So the periodontal thing, we hear so much teeth and eye stuff. It's tremendous. But when it happens to you in real life, I mean, you can hear the stories about my mom's periodontal, right? How the doctor said, I cannot believe it. We've been trying to get these gums and teeth in line for 7 years. She had got implants 2 years before, they hadn't set. And suddenly, 2 months after wearing the X39, the doctor said, what on earth did you do to your mother's mouth? And now you're living it, Alondra. You're living the same thing.
Oh,
You get
it's amazing. It is so amazing. I get goosebumps every time I share my story about LifeWave. Honestly.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. That was new. I had not heard that yet. Of course, we've been celebrating your diabetes victory. In fact, I'm looking at you thinking your face it looks so much different. I pray that you just put a before and after out because you look, I don't know how much weight you've lost, but you've looked like you've lost, I don't know, over 30 pounds. And you can just see that, not only just losing weight, you can tell that you've lost inflammation. When I look at you, I can see that you're not carrying that inflammation, right? And so when people carry the inflammation, I feel like their systems are on overdrive all the time. So when your system's not on overdrive, you have time to go out and hit the ball and play with the kids, right? For hours because the system is not fighting against itself. So God bless you, Alondra. Keep us posted on that teeth journey. I love teeth stuff. I always say money doesn't buy you happiness, but it does buy you teeth. And when you can eat, you are happy. Okay. So eating is important as we live on this planet. I appreciate you. Back to this. So all LifeWave products, of course, are free from drugs, chemicals, and stimulants. We do not claim to treat, cure, or prevent any disease. All of the results that you're hearing are personal testimonies and stories of people that have changed. Their energetic state of their body has changed. Like Alondra said, as soon as she put that patch on, it changed. And it all started for me with my aging mom and dad. Hopefully, if you have aging loved ones, parents, maybe grandparents, maybe neighbors, you're an advocate for them. But my mom saw her first LifeWave miracle on day 11 after wearing the patch. She has Parkinson's and she was diagnosed with that about 7.5 years ago. And day 11, my mother was walking around her house without her walker. And that first time in 2.5 years, she had ever walked without that walker at 8 a.m. And bigger than that, she was happy. Parkinson's, they're kind of not so happy in the morning because they don't create dopamine. And so she's usually kind of a moody bear. And that morning she was like, hey, Nita, do you want me to make you some eggs for breakfast? And here was the woman who had not cooked for 2.5 years, walking around the kitchen, offering to make me eggs. So if you think that, wondering what this patch can do for you, I mean, patch it on everyone someone in your peer group. Maybe it's an aging loved one. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's a neighbor. They are bound to have a result that will shock you. So my mom was my first shocker. My dad was my second shocker. He was a one-patch miracle, much like you, Alondra. He put the patch on, and the next morning I came back, and my dad's legs looked like this. On the right. We had been dealing with the oozing, goozing legs for, over 6 months. And couldn't get him under control. He was taking handfuls of nutraceuticals. He got a steroid injection, which I told him was a bad idea, but he just wanted to sleep because he could not sleep with these dang legs. He got a steroid injection. It went away for 2 weeks, and it came back like a roaring bull, and which was just awful for him. And they would not stop dripping. His legs not only were thick and swollen, as you can see, they were just wouldn't stop dripping. And so on the right was 24 hours later. So my dad was a one-patch miracle. So you guys, get started with X39. That is the patch that is literally creating miracles across the board. And I could show you a lot more. I'm not going to take much more time on the miracles. Hopefully you get the point by now. I mean, with Fred being 22, Alondra getting the implants, diabetes and everything being under control, looking like a radiant star in the sky. I'm telling you what, we have our hands on miracles. This is a miracle inbox. If you're looking to do something, how many of you like the idea of looking at a miracle inbox every day? Because that's what I get to do. I mean, it's just awesome. This is the most fun I've ever had in my whole life in a business. Are you kidding? And again, we got started because of the health of our family, my aging parents, right? But when I saw what it did for them, I thought these guys are 76 and 80. They're in tough shape. They abuse the hell out of their bodies for decades. And it did that to them. What's it going to do with somebody that has, you know, a little eczema or a little headache or something? So we have seen downright miracles. This is my friend Penny's hands. She dealt with those hands after chemo. As you can see on the left, she was miserable with these hands. Old high school friend of mine. And she said, Renita, will the patch work? After I posted my dad's legs on social media, she inboxed me right away and she said, oh my gosh, I saw your dad's legs. Will the patch work on my hands? And she sent me the picture. I said, I don't know, but it's worth a shot. It's worth a try. And she sent me the picture on the right 5 days later. And she said, this has completely changed my life in 5 days, you guys. So we are we're powered up and fired up, both. But it's not just for people with sickness and disease in the body. We talk an awful lot about that because I feel like the world is full of disease, right? We look around and everybody seems to have something. And so we lead our conversations many times with that. I want you to know it's time for miracle breakthrough for your health. And maybe that is with that state, that inflammation state that we're trying to get out. Or maybe it's just because you want to increase your performance. I have an athlete right now that is literally on tomorrow. She starts, it's called the 7-day. She's doing 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. Did you guys see this? I posted this on my Facebook page. Let me say that again. Her name is Mary, Merry. She is running 7 marathons on all 7 continents in 7 days. And she's absolutely wearing the patches. So she called me the other day when I was in Punta Cana, and she was sitting with her sister getting her patches ready for her races every day, what patches she's going to be wearing in the AM hours and PM hours. And she was really getting everything aligned. And so we are all rooting for her. So again, it's not just for sick people. You've got people that are doing a feat like that. Have any of you run 7 marathons in 7 days? I haven't. Okay. Have you ran 7 marathons on 7 different continents? I'm like, the time change alone would be so incredibly difficult, right? But she's doing it. So again, we've got miracle breakthrough athletes doing it. And I do this because in my life, I believe in 2 things: generations of health and generations of wealth. And I believe that all of us can choose to be the chain breaker. If your lineage has not been of health, I didn't come from health, but health is coming from me. I did not come from wealth, but wealth will be coming from me on down, right? I think about sickness. Think about your lineage of your family. You know, my grandfather had a stroke. My grandmother had Alzheimer's, right? All this sickness. Boom! That sickness met its match when it hit Renita Brannan, because I said, not today, Satan, get behind me. My God reigns and my body's a healing machine. And so we turned it on and we broke the chain, right? So someone's got to be strong enough in their mind and their spirit to say, hey, it stops right now. And we're going to have health from here on down. And that's what we decided with our boys. These are our 3 sons. They're 22. The middle one is 22 there. Excuse me, 24. 24. What am I saying? I'm thinking 22 because Fred's 22. 24. Rocco is 17. And Truett literally is going to be turning 18 in a couple days here. Truett, by the way, flew from Punta Cana and he was going to fly over to Scottsdale. He texted me last night at the airport. Hey, just let me read the text to you guys so you know how easy this business is. This was from Truett, our son, last night as he was flying from Atlanta, Georgia, over to Scottsdale, Arizona last night. And this is what he said to us, which is so incredible. He said, I want to read it so I get it just right, because you don't have to be a doctor to do this. You don't have to be a scientist of some sort. If you have a heart to serve, how many of you like people? And my first advice would be, if you don't like people, put a patch on, okay? Because it's time to change your frequency. It's time to change your energy. But if you're raising your hand and you like to help people, I love to help people. I love to serve people. I can't stand seeing people in pain, whether it's physical pain or financial pain. I've got to help get him out. That's just my nature, right? But last night he said, Mom and Dad, I just shared the patch with 2 people at the airport. I gave them 2 patches in 2 envelopes each. They are so excited about it. They're going to be in my business. This is my 17-year-old. Okay. He's not a doctor. He's not a scientist. He just is sitting at the airport. He's got patches on, of course, because if you want to share, you should be wearing the patch, right? Wearing is sharing. And of course, somebody asked him and he told them. And, you know, I make no mistake, Truett will have these people in his business because he loves getting people well. He's like us. We've taught that to our children. So let's get to the brass tacks. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. David Schmidt is incredible. In fact, I've got a meeting with him right when I get off with you guys today, an hour-and-a-half meeting with David Schmidt. The guy is a genius. He has over 130 patents. If you get close to him, his family will tell you he's got over 180. He just quit counting at 130. He loves God. He loves people. He loves reversing aging, and he loves stopping disease. He loves freedom. He loves people taking back their freedom. And he has created a wearable technology that is so affordable that anybody can use. So David has really been in the trenches with health and healing for many, many years, decades actually. But 20 years ago, he started LifeWave. The company is 20 years old. 20 years old. It's amazing that something that's 20 years old and it's the first time you've heard about it. I always feel like, wow, like, where have I been? But then I think, you know what? God is aligning right now. He's aligning an army of light workers. So it's perfect timing that you're here today. So again, make sure you reach out to who got you started on this. But David in 2008 actually said, we're going to focus on stem cell research. We're going to focus on how we can help activate the healing mechanisms of the body with light. And it took him 10 years to get the patent on X39, you guys. I mean, he applied, had to rewrite it. I mean, with getting a patent, it's not just something like where it's accepted. Like many times you're resubmitting, changes, more testing, resubmitting, 10 years of that and $4.5 million to bring to market the X39. And the X39 is so powerful because it is the patch that activates a peptide, like I showed you at the beginning, the beautiful book by Dr. Lauren Picard. That peptide, GHKCU, has been clinically proven to increase our own stem cells in our body. It literally resets up to 4,000 of our human genes to a younger, healthier state. So I'm not sure about you, but I love the idea of a younger, healthier state. I love the idea about resetting genes to how I felt when I was 20. I mean, how many of you guys, can you imagine putting a patch on, you know, Fred, I'm just going to use you. Yeah, you're 62. You don't look it. You certainly don't act it. You're just a kid at heart. You're so amazing. I love your spirit. And here you are testing out at 22. I mean, are you kidding? Here's the thing, guys. What if you put this patch on and it literally reverses your age? What if, like Alondra, you're glowing again? You're playing with the kids again. You take your life back. I mean, what if? You know what I mean? Sometimes people say, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does? Because I'm talking to more people that it's worked for than those that it doesn't. Sometimes those that it doesn't, they need to just increase their water, increase their electrolytes. Boom, it works, right? David Schmidt said it works for everybody. It works for every one of you watching. Some, it will take a day, like my dad. Some it will take, you know, a couple months. Some it will take maybe, I don't know, 4 months. But listen, 4 months is not a bad time frame when you beat yourself up for the last 40 years. Okay, give your body 4 months to heal. Baby, you're worth it. That's what I got to tell you. But a teenager has 1 billion of these circulating stem cells. So they are literally like healing machines, kids are, right? But by the age of 30, we've got a 60% reduction. And listen, if you're on here today and not only are you 30, but you've had chronic inflammation, let's say you've had a metabolic condition like Alondra mentioned, like diabetes, you know, for 15 years. Let's say that you've had a skin condition for 10 years, right? All of those tell me that you've had chronic inflammation. So not only does age eat up the stem cells and make them less effective, chronic inflammation eats up the stem cells and makes it less effective. So if you've been aging and chronically inflamed, praise the Lord you're here today. Because today is the day you're going to turn the page in the storybook. You're writing a whole new story from here on out. I mean, I look at my dad, 80 years young. 95% reduction of stem cell activity, right, guys? 95. No wonder that poor guy was in agony for so long. His poor old body, he was fighting age and that chronic inflammation, right? So I don't even know if he had any stem cells. He had half a stem cell probably, right? Like he just needed help. And everything changed the moment we put that patch on him. Everything changed. Just like Alondra said, that day she put the patch on, her life changed. The day we put that patch on my dad, his life changed. The day I put that patch on my mom, her life changed. The day I put the patch on myself, like the patch changed our lives. So the GHK-Cu peptide, remember, it stimulates blood vessels and nerve outgrowth. It increases collagen and elastin, which is why everybody looks so young. And people are going to ask you what you did. They're going to start asking, how come you look younger, right? It also has been found to have anti-inflammatory actions to suppress the molecules thought to accelerate diseases of cellular aging. Come on. You had me at hello. Like, who doesn't want this, right? As well as having anti-anxiety, anti-pain, and anti-aggression. Are you kidding? Like, I just talked to somebody that said their aging loved one. This is from my Canadian team. I have a great big Canadian team, and I was just at dinner with them down in Punta Cana. And this gal, she's a massage therapist on our team. She patched a friend of hers whose husband was so angry and bitter with her. Like, she was almost going to end the marriage. Well, they found out that he had early stages of dementia and he was just like, and she said the day they put that patch on him, his whole mood and energy, literally his frequency changed. She said he became loving again. Like, I was like a different person by putting the patch on. This woman was considering leaving her spouse because he was literally early onset dementia, right? And put the patch on. And she said every time this woman shares the story, everybody in the audience cries because she got her husband back. And anyway, it's just a very tremendous story. The bottom line is it works for everybody, and I'm excited for it to work for you. So make sure you talk to who invited you on here today, because they will be your sponsor and they're going to help you get started with the patch. I do want to switch gears and talk more about the financial opportunity, because when you have something that is so life-changing and so life-altering and hardly anybody knows about it, my husband would tell you that's called a financial opportunity. When you have something that's changing and saving lives globally, literally all walks of life, from young to old and everybody in between, and not everybody knows about that technology, that's called an opportunity for you. So if you're on here today to say, you know what, I think I like this idea. I think I want to share with people. I look at my 17-year-old son sharing on the airplane. He turns 18 next week. He's going to take the business to the top in a month. He's going to be 18. We recommended him not go to college. Don't go to college, we said. Our oldest went to college. He went to college for 5 years. In college, he will tell you he learned very little. You pick up most of your bad habits in college. Let's just say it. And so he literally came out of college and came home and worked with my husband and I for 2 months, took his business to the top. Bo is 24, and Bo loves health, just like me. He was raised in health, so he loves health. He loves natural health and healing. He loves people. And Bo is earning nearly $25,000 a week, every week at this business. He's 24. Okay. He said, Mom, the stuff that I'm doing with my LifeWave business, I was not taught in college. He said, I'm glad I went, because he was a trackster. He was breaking all of his own records. He's super fast as lightning, but he didn't learn what we're teaching monetarily in his college setting. So I hope you guys understand the power of this, not only to change and save lives, but also the power of it as a financial opportunity to take back your power with your family's health. Okay. Because that costs money. How many of you know that health costs money? Okay. Health costs money, especially the things that I'm buying. Everything that I'm paying for is not covered by our insurance system. In fact, I don't even need insurance, unless it's for catastrophes, because everything that I do, I'm paying out of pocket for. So the next thing I want to show you is just a little bit more about this opportunity, because I believe it will change your life just like it changed ours. And I don't know if you like the idea of generations of health and generations of wealth, but I know that I'm the chain breaker in my family, and I pray that you're the chain breaker in yours. And so LifeWave, again, a 20-year-old company, was doing about $20 million a year. And literally when they launched that X39 in 2021, the company went to $320 million. 2022, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And last year in 2023, they finished over $600 million. It was 430 million in 2023, 600 million this year. We're wrapping up the year here, over $600 million. David Schmidt predicts that next year will be the first billion-dollar year with LifeWave. We're open in over 75 countries. Do you know anybody in any other parts of the world? My husband just sponsored a gentleman from Dominican Republic. We are not open in Dominican Republic. We are not open there. I got to share this story because this guy lives on he goes 3 weeks away from his family to work at the resort that we were at. And then he goes 1 week home to his family, which is 8 hours away. My husband, Scott, signed him up. And the guy said, I want to say this to you. We're not open in Dominican Republic, but we're open in 78 other countries around the world. And so the gentleman told my husband, I have a U.S. Social Security number. He said, I buy many of my parts for one of my businesses from the United States. My sister is going to school to be a medical doctor in Miami. My uncle lives up in Pennsylvania, and he's a businessman. He's going to love this. This guy, the first day, Scott shared a patch with him. He was running. It was called the Formula One racing, where you put on this thing and you're in this race car, and it was hard. Literally, you had to hold on for dear life on this race cars. It was virtual racing. He ran the place. He was the manager. And the first night, my husband shared with him, and he had fairly good English, not perfect, but really good. And Scott shared LifeWave with him. The next day when he came back, he told my husband, I did not sleep 1 minute last night. He said, I watched every video on David Schmidt and LifeWave. He knew every stat about David. He knew every stat about the company. He said, we want this for our family. My wife and I have been praying for an opportunity financially. And he said, you have blessed us by sharing this with us. We want to do this business. Okay. There was no nagging. There was no begging. There was no dragging. Scott shared the website. He shared this is it info. He shared our own website. And this gentleman said, we want in. This guy makes peanuts at this, these people that live in these countries. I mean, they live on next to nothing. I mean, we're talking working for 3 weeks, making $600, right? And he said, we will do this business. He said, I'm going to start with the core package. Next week, I go home back to my house for 5 days. On my break, I'm going to sell a car. And when I sell a car, I'm going to upgrade to the premium package. That's what he told my husband. This guy was crying. He was so excited. He said, I have not slept since I watched the videos. He was so excited. He actually said to Scott said, what is your why? And Scott thought he was going to say money, right? Because the whole thing was about the business. The guy was so excited about the business. And he said, my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And he said, the doctor in the States, they have her on 10 medications. He said, I know if I move her back here, he said, I can get her off those medications and I can get her well. And I think the patch is going to help. And we said, absolutely it is. And so he said, he started bawling. My husband was bawling. The guy was bawling. And he said, I believe that this patch will help my mother. I believe you've granted the miracle of prayer. When I was been praying for something to help my mother and my family financially, we have it. The reason I share that with you guys is this is not a hard business. This is an easy business. This is an easy decision. Do you want to be healthy? Do you want to help others get healthy? Or do you want to make money? Don't overcomplicate this thing. It is that simple that some gentleman in broken English could understand what my husband was telling him, right? And literally enrolled at the core package. Some people say, I don't know how to do it. He figured it out. He's like, don't worry, I got a U.S. Social Security number. He said, I buy parts from the United States for my car business. This guy was in it. You know what I mean? He was figuring out a way to get his family free. That's what we all need to be doing. And instead of saying, some people say, well, what about somebody says this? They say this negative. I don't even entertain negativity. Do you know why? It's a frequency. And when you are negative about, I read that this review said that. Listen, I just talked to 1,000 people in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, that all had a miracle story. So if you want to get around what's going on with LifeWave, you better get around the miracles. Okay. If you're looking for an out and a reason not to do it, trust me, you'll find it. You will find it. Someone will be offended by something I say. Someone will be offended by something that David says. Somebody just said, I can't believe David Schmidt mentioned Robert Kennedy Jr. Like in the United States, we just had a big political victory, right? With Trump and Robert Kennedy Jr. Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to remake and take down all the three-letter organizations and bring integrity back to the medical system and healthcare. Praise the Lord. We actually had somebody in our Facebook group complaining about it, just being a crap magnet. You know what I told my husband? Block her. I said, we don't need it, because if she listens to David Schmidt for 5 minutes, she'll know the backbone of LifeWave is freedom and taking control of people's health and restoring the health of our children. Hello, who would complain about that? She needs more patches. And so the bottom line is we try to stay on the up and up. But listen, if you're talking to people that say, I need every study in the book, that person's not going to do anything with this business. You're looking for that little gentleman, that 5'1" gentleman that says, I've been praying for what you're telling me, sir. And it's kept me up for all the days. 2 days in a row, the guy didn't sleep. Scott goes, you better get to bed. He said, let me give you some patches so you can sleep, because he was so excited about the opportunity. But that's what we have our hands on. And I share that with you to say, listen, that's a third world country. When you go there off those resorts, it's not well. It's not good, right? And these guys are praying for health. They're praying for an opportunity. I think in the United States, maybe we just have it too good sometimes, right? All right. So the bottom line is we are not a Me Too product. David will always be first to market. Many of you, if you watched the video yesterday and the Zoom, he talked about yesterday, literally, that we will always be first to market. We will be first to market in whatever we do. David's already got 4 patents on the water technology that's coming out. He's got 2 more in the works for that. There will be nothing like us in the world. We are creating a new category in healing and healthcare. How exciting is this? How does it feel to be a pioneer, right? This is where we're at, guys. Moving on, LifeWave, look at this. Tremendous growth, you guys. They were the #1 momentum company from business for home, literally in the world, the #1 momentum network marketing direct sales company in the world. I mean, unbelievable. #1 growth company. The DSN, they said, we got this Bravo Award. We give it to the company that's had the most growth over a 4-year period. Guess who won it? LifeWave. We're a 20-year-old company that's winning the #1 growth award in the world for network marketing. Can you say right place, right product, right company, right team? That's what we're part of, you guys. So we were part of this amazing celebration that we saw. Can you guys see me on this little picture? See me? Right here I am. Can you pick me out? The tanned arm and the reptilian boots, okay? The high boots, okay? I wore my boots that day. But anyway, the bottom line is we were there for the ribbon cutting. Imagine a 20-year-old startup that is just now having the ribbon cutting. They just had a grand opening. When we say we're just getting started, we actually are just getting started. In fact, I just talked to one of the leaders from our team. She said, I want to bring 10 leaders to the corporate office down in Draper, Utah. When you're a senior presidential director, which is what my husband and I are, if any of you want to visit the headquarters, let us know and we can line it up for you, okay? So just get with us, and we want to make sure that you know that that headquarters is open to your people. We want them to see the vision and the power of what we have our hands on with this incredible technology and with David Schmidt. All right. I mean, we're packing rooms. This is unbelievable, right? I mean, that's my husband, Scott, on the screen. Look at him, how cute he is. Scotty the hottie. Okay. You guys all know Scott. There he is talking. So we're part of This Is It team. It's the fastest growing team in all of LifeWave. So we're creating the most millionaires, which means we're creating the most health miracles, which gets me fired up. So let's talk about the different ways of earning. For if you're brand new here today, let me show you. So there's one of the ways of earning is something called a binary. So you have a right leg and a left leg. So imagine like you're the team leader and you're going to go out and you're going to sponsor maybe family on one side, maybe friends on the other. People that know each other, put them on the same leg. Okay, that's very important because they'll be working together to help one another. The bottom line is you need a right leg and a left leg. You don't need 8 legs. You just need 2 to get this thing rolling. So when I started, the first person we sponsored was our oldest son, Bo. He didn't have hardly any money. He said, Mom, I've got $560 in my checking. I said, good. It's going to drain the checking. Don't worry, you'll be fine. So he spent the $500. Back then it was called the gold kit, which is now an advanced kit. And he got started on that package. And once you know it, I mean, look at this. I mean, literally 2 years and 4 months later, who could have known this? Who could have known that Bo was making nearly $25,000? You couldn't know this. You couldn't have predicted this, right? So we just trusted the process. And I like to say this, where the miracles are, go there. Where the financial miracles are happening, get there, right? Where the health miracles are happening, get there. Like that is the place where I feel like God is exploding his goodness. And so some people say, I don't know, I'm going to pray about it. I'm like, okay, well, you can pray about it some more, but we've got an awful lot of health miracles and financial miracles happening. I would just walk this way, all right, for a bit. So the bottom line is there's lots of ways to earn. In fact, let me stop the share and go to something really cool that you guys can all duplicate, because I want this to be a system of duplication. I showed you, this is it info. You guys wrote that down, right? The final thing I want to show you is something called This Is It Team. This Is It Team is going to be your one-stop shop for your duplication of your business. So if you're here today saying, yeah, how do I duplicate this business? I mean, I just had a teacher here in the United States quit her job. Her name is Heidi Wanty. She won the free trip to Punta Cana. She made the decision while she was on the free trip to go home and quit her job as a teacher. She's been a teacher for a long, long time, and she's an excellent teacher. But she's over in Minnesota. And Minnesota, in our country, they have, their governor wanted to put tampons in every boy's bathroom. Okay? That's the governor of Minnesota. They're just kind of wild over there. And she said, I'm sick of going to the bathroom, and because they let all the boys in the girls' bathroom, to have urine all over the toilets. She said, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of playing along with the charade. It's not who I am. It's not authentic. And, you know, there's males and there's females. And so she really was having a difficult time. Well, she decided to just quit her job. Well, she can do that. When you're a teacher and your additional side hustle is making you anywhere between, you know, $4,000 and $6,000 a week, you have options, my friends. You have options, right? So she came home and she decided, you know what, I'm going to hang it up. And she went on a Facebook Live and she said, I'm done. And the school called her in and canned her the same day because they watched her live, how she told the truth about what's going on in the school, and they got rid of her. And that was just confirming her decision that she made the right decision. But she was not crying. In fact, she was smiling because she said, I know that I'm perfectly aligned. I believe in the freedom to choose, the freedom to talk about it. And she said, you know, the bottom line is I'm taking this business all the way to the top and beyond. And she will. Her name is Heidi Wanty. Watch her. She's a school teacher out of Minnesota, and she'll be an SPD. Okay. No health background. In fact, her and her husband, I think her husband, Rich, has lost like about 40 pounds. Heidi's lost about 30 pounds. And they both got new teeth. There you go, Alondra. They both got new teeth. They did not have good teeth, and they could not afford teeth. And guess what happened? She's making enough money that they both got implants. Get it? That's what I say. Get the teeth so you can eat. So over here is a system that she was, it's thisteam.com. When people say money doesn't matter, I'm like, well, eating does. Okay, so thisisitteam.com. When you come on over here, come all the way to the right, guys. There's that 3 lines. Do you see where my cursor is there? Okay, I'm going to click on those 3 lines, and it's going to say downloads. That's what I want you to check out, is the downloads, because they have the brand new opportunity slides. They've got a downloadable sign-up sheet. My husband took this sign-up sheet to his little manager friend that got in the business, who got started with the core package. And he's selling the car next week when he gets home to upgrade to premium. He understands opportunity when he sees it, right? And then when you go over here to the commission sheet, that's what I'm going to click on download. Again, I'm at This Is It Team on the far right over there. Wonderful. This Is It Team commission sheet. There's the 3 packages you can get started with, $295, $535, $1,750. Of course, it's slightly different in your neck of the woods. But Talk To invited you on here. You can start at the core, and when you're ready, you can upgrade to the advanced and upgrade to the premium. Be like our friend. Start with the core, sell a car, upgrade to premium. Boom, game over, right? He didn't say, what am I going to do? I can't afford it. He just simply made a decision. I'm selling a car. That's how that looks, I guess. You know what I mean? When the opportunity is there, you go. And so binary commissions, there you are. That's what I just showed you. Right in the left leg, you're earning up to $25,000 a week. How do you do that? Every order placed of the people that you sponsor, and the people that they sponsor, and the people that they sponsor, and they sponsor, everybody that's on your team that you can see, all of those create point volume. That point volume adds up. And when you have 660 points on one leg and 330 points on the other, that's 990 point volume. And you're going to receive a $50 bonus Every time, they call it a cycle bonus. Multiple cycling means more money. One cycle for every 990 points. Okay. So you don't have to do the math on this, by the way. Everything is automated in your back office. So you're not going to have to keep track of this. Praise the Lord. I wouldn't have lasted long. Okay. Right. I'm big picture. I just want to help people heal. Right. So you don't have to sit in the back office and crunch numbers. They're going to figure all this out for you, and they will list all the ways that you are earning commissions. So you can click on it and you can understand how you're getting paid. Okay, guys. But they pay you all the way up to $25,000 a week. My mom, she's living in the nursing home. I told this story on Facebook Live this morning. She pays about $6,000, $6,200 a month to live there. Not a nursing home. It's actually independent living. And it's actually not a nursing home at all. It's like the Carnival Cruise Line, and the Carnival Cruise Line and the Ritz-Carlton had a baby, and that is where my mom lives. Okay, that baby's where my mom lives. It's like a fun place for old people. Anyway, the bottom line is she's paying $6,200 a month to live there, and then we have a lady that comes in and helps her, and that's an additional $3,000. We're paying $9,200 a month minimum. Most months it's $10,000. Don't even tell me for a second not to talk about money. I have to talk about the money, right? Because 92, who's going to pay the bill? Like, someone's got to pay the bill. We don't want to rely on our government, because our government throws them into the nursing home, throws away the key. And when your loved ones are sick, they try to talk to them through a glass window during COVID, right? They're nuts, right? No, I'd never put her in that crap hole, right? We want her in the Ritz-Carlton and the Carnival Cruise Line had a baby place. Right. That's where we want my mom. I told my mom, I've got 2 objectives for you in your older age here, Mom. Number 1 is to have a ton of fun. And number 2 is safety. We want you safe and we want you having fun. You lived your whole life working like a sled dog for us and for others. And you're going to have fun and be safe at this point in your life. And she loves it. So I said to Scott, you know what it means? I'm going to have to become a billionaire, apparently. I'm going to have to now raise my standard of my thinking from millionaire mindset to a billionaire mindset to pay for the Ritz-Carlton Carnival Cruise Line place that my mom has to live, because she's going to run out of money soon. My dad didn't have much. They didn't have much. They didn't know. They didn't know. Like, again, remember, I'm the chain breaker. The wealth, I didn't come from wealth, but the wealth is coming from me. You can make bank on it. That's what I'm going to tell you. So the bottom line is it my husband this morning, well, we're just going to have to make a shit ton of money, because we're going to eventually be putting this bill for this place sooner than later for mom to live, right? Because we're not throwing her to the state. You throw your loved ones to the state, they're gone in 2 months, right? So we're going to keep her where she's at. So my goal is, again, money matters. How many of you know money matters? Raise your hand. And when you have an opportunity of a lifetime, you should be so excited about sharing it to make the money, to get the teeth, Alondra, right? To get the teeth. I'm going to get t-shirts made that say, get the teeth, baby, get the teeth, heal the gums. Let's go, put on a badge. So the bottom line is there's other ways of making. Another great way is they can go to your website. They can become customers. You're going to make a little bit of cash when they do that. And the final way is the commission matching bonus. When you sponsor somebody and they're your first line leadership, you're going to get a 25% check match. Hypothetically, let's just say I sponsored Alondra, and Alondra's making $1,000 a week. That means that I would get check matched $250 because she's making $1,000. Alondra, do I want you making only $1,000 a week, or do I want you to max it out at SPD at $25,000 a week? No brainer. $25,000 a week. Why? Get excited about this, you guys, because when Alondra's making $25,000 a week, the sponsor of Alondra makes $6,250 check match. It's like when you go to the circus and they say everybody wins, right? We win with health. We win with finances. I learned a long time ago, I don't want to be in any win-lose situations. How many of you know it's about win, 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 win? I don't know if you see what's happening in the U.S. Every announcement made, win. Next announcement made by Trump for the cabinet, win. Victory, victory, victory. We're taking our country back. We're taking our health back, and we're taking our finances back. Not only make America great again, make America wealthy again. Hello. They put us in a pit in the last few years. We're getting out of that. The bottom line is money matters. First line leadership, 25% check match. Second line leadership, 20% check, or 25 first line. Whoever Alondra sponsors is her second line. It's her first line, but it would be, let's say I sponsored Alondra, it'd be my second line. Okay, so you want first line leadership, 25% check match, second line, 20%, and third line, 20%. And I just realized the time and I got to go because I'm starting a meeting with David Schmidt right now. Like, I got to be on it. They're looking for my face at this point. So I can't even stay and chat anymore, but let's see if we have any major questions. Let's see here. Please open more African countries. Hey, we're working on it. Listen, you guys take it to the top. I'm looking for all of the leadership sitting on here. Dimitri, Fred, Alondra, Alanier, Kathy, Lindsay, Leanne, Estelle. Let's go. Liesel, Oliver, Nikki, George, Charmaine, Brendan, Bev, Amosu. I'm looking for all the leadership to rise because guess what? When you have SPDs, we're going to say, listen, we're opening Africa. And if we have to bootleg it over the country borders, we'll do it. Or you guys better get your butt in here, LifeWave, and help us to do this. Because we're getting to the African countries that need it desperately, right? I want you guys winning all day long. All right. I love all of you. May the Lord bless you, keep you, and shine his face upon you, and be gracious to you. Stay with me. Generations of health. Come on. It starts with you. Generations of wealth. That's where we're at today, baby. All right, you guys, I got to go. I'll say hi to David Schmidt from all of you. God bless you.
Thank you,
Keep it up.
Renita.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love you.
I love you all. Let me see the before and after picture, Alondra. I need a before and after. It's like profound. That picture is going to make you $1 million. I'm prophesying. I'm calling it out into the heavenly realm right now. It's going to make you
Many
$1 million.
millions.
Many millions. Thank you, Fred, for correcting
Yes.
me. I think it's so small.
Wow, you just inspire one person to just go for it again, eh? Love your meeting.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
think Renita
Great.
over
Thanks so
you.
much, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Cheers, sleep
Bye.
Thank
tight.
you. Bye.
Thanks, Renita.
That's for George. Cheers, with.